There are festivals developing all over the world, all over the UK, many of them actually imitating our festivals here, some of which have been around for 40 years. So we have competition. One way we can stand out from the competition is to ensure that the city of Edinburgh, which is such a wonderful city, obviously unique, but this is quite an extraordinary place, is as inviting as it always has been.
Festivals Edinburgh is the result of, I suppose, three key documents. First was the City of Edinburgh Festival Strategy. The second was the Economic Impact Evaluation, and the third was the Thundering Hooves Report into Edinburgh's position, a competitive position internationally as the world's leading festival city. It was also, of course, the result of the will and ambition and vision of its constituent festivals and its individual directors. That's, in a way, more important than anything else.
What we achieved through the Thundering Hooves Report and this focus on how to maintain that competitive advantage was a real understanding that we needed to actually promote ourselves effectively.
What we were never able to achieve was the kind of bigger picture. You know, collaborating with the other festivals helped us to move that way, and of course the advent of Festivals Edinburgh has completely transformed the landscape in that respect.
I think Joanne and I both work for smaller festivals in terms of their core resource, so one of the exciting things about the collaboration through Festivals Edinburgh has been, in a way, accessing all the expertise and significant experience, 60 years plus, that exists within the other member festivals, and really being able to draw on that as newer festivals and less well-established festivals as we go through our own significant periods of development, but also contributing to the development of the Festivals Edinburgh programme of work.
I think before the group was set up, there was this perception that we were all in competition with one another and that it was an incredibly difficult group to get to work together. And I really think we've blown that out of the water, and that we gain far more from sharing than we lose from it.
Well, I think the immediate opportunities that are starting to be felt from us is promotion, marketing, a huge amount of discussions internally about how we will think about the thematic resonances of our festivals.
We've been able to think and organise ourselves at a level which we could not have dreamed of before. And there are many examples of that kind of strategic approach that we've been able to take, the people we've been able to engage with, and the potential that we've given ourselves for the future.
One of the most important points about Festivals Edinburgh is that it isn't trying to homogenise what we do, it's actually building on our individual strengths to deliver collectively what we can't do individually.
So we still have our own identity, and I think that's one of the good things, that we're very much individual festivals, individual organisations, individual businesses and individual art form promoters, but we are working on this infrastructural level for the city on common issues.
We have become, as a group, much more easy to work with from an external point of view, from a stakeholder and agency point of view, and we I think all had a real sense that that's what we needed to do, but I think personally I didn't realise how much we would benefit from that.
The big challenge is about communication, and where you're moving things forward you need everyone's agreement, everyone's understanding and everyone's agreement. Now, undoubtedly that is a challenge, but it's one that we've embraced and we've developed approaches to make it work.
Inevitably, when you have 12 very willful artistic directors or programmers in a room together, there are going to be some massive challenges. I have to admit to you that there are fewer challenges than I had thought would be the case. I have some very exciting projects that I want to discuss with the Film Festival, with the Fringe, with, of course, unusually you may think, the Edinburgh's Military Tattoo.
It's not always about the smaller, newer festivals seeking out the larger festivals. I think there is expertise within the smaller festivals that can be offered up. I worked alongside some colleagues at the film festival this summer about some Bengali cinema that they were programming, and they actively wanted to target the Bengali community and the Bangladeshi community here in Scotland. And as the Mela, that's what we were able to support with some of that delivery and development for them.
On a slightly more person-to-person level, I've certainly felt that because the role of being a festival director is very public and is often very vulnerable, actually just having people where you can phone and say, do you know, I have no idea how to deal with this. It's always great to be able to hear from people that have had kind of 10, 15 years of getting that just right.
We have a coming together of a number of great minds to produce a single entity, which is Edinburgh's Festivals, and an organisation, Festivals Edinburgh, that's going to represent that entity. And we have a vision now for the future Edinburgh Festivals, which is beginning to coalesce and beginning to develop, and we will see in the next 10 to 15 years a complete change in the landscape, which will, I think, transform the way in which Edinburgh Festivals progress.
Knowing what we know now and having operated for just over a year now in terms of the marketing strategy and plan, I think we've already kind of illuminated a number of growth areas for the campaign in the next kind of couple of years, which is really exciting. Big meaty projects that that individually we might not have been able to deliver.
The big dream for us in terms of our collaborative effort is looking forward to large-scale projects similar to the Olympic year in 2012, the Commonwealth Games in 2014. These present opportunities to start relationships with big-scale international partners that we would not otherwise have been possible.
It's a long-term experiment in how you can make something like this happen. I've been astonished by what we've managed to achieve, and we've made things happen as a group that I individually couldn't have imagined. There are things that have happened collectively that none of us could have imagined, and that's it's incredibly exciting.
The potential for Edinburgh as a festival centre is enormous. The potential for Edinburgh Jazz and Blues Festival is absolutely enormous, and we could not be thinking about it without Festivals Edinburgh support.
And it's not Festivals Edinburgh doing it for us. Festivals Edinburgh is us, and that's very crucial to making this work.
I think what Festivals Edinburgh represents is, without being too touchy-feely about it, a family of festivals.
What I would say is it's a beginning of a way of thinking that we didn't have prior to this idea of a collective intelligence, the collective scope of Festivals Edinburgh. And to that extent, the history is about to be written.